Andrew. Thank you. I'm not taking you to the emergency room.
It's on tape.
Okay, we're on day 5 of web design with XHTML, and we're going to start off this class by doing a complete XHTML and CSS document from scratch, so that everybody can see once again how we build it. There's a lot of question as to how do you actually get going. So, and before we get started too much, these are the pictures that I've grabbed that we have to work with throughout this session. We have green fields, some cherry blossoms, some really cute puppies. Entrance only, do not enter. Drive carefully, we have 2 cemeteries, no hospital. That guy. who may need to heed this warning. And a bunny rabbit. Okay, so as we're working on our webpage, remember that you can work with those. Okay, to make a webpage, we're going to go in, we're going to open Notepad. Ta-da. Okay. Actually, let's make sure we can see the font.
Can you make the font like super big?
Yeah, like 72.
Like 72, yeah.
Yeah,
So I
that'd
can
be
see it.
really cool. Okay, now, when we're starting an XHTML web page, what is the first thing that we need to do? Danny?
Open up HTML.
No, it's not the first thing we do.
The definition.
The
Yeah,
doohickey, the XML declaration, yes.
Declaration.
Okay. So how do we get the XML declaration?
Copy it.
Yes.
Steal it.
Very good. We copy it. And not from the bunny. We go into, if you're working at the school, you go into miscellaneous, XML declaration.html. Just open this in Notepad or open it in Kate here at the school.
What happens if you don't have that at the beginning?
If you don't have this at the beginning, what happens is you're not writing XHTML, you're writing HTML. The browser, when it goes to read the page, will not know what language you're writing. It'll bring it down at least 4 steps, and it will not do what you think it's going to do. It's not going to follow your instructions exactly. So it might work. You could easily get something to happen, but to get the precise ability to lay out the page exactly the way you want it will be lost.
Oh, I haven't been getting the declaration. It's been coming out just fine.
It will, because you're working on one browser and you're doing it based on how it looks on that browser. But having the declaration gives you cross-browser compatibility. There are language features that are supported and not supported depending on the version. And it will not, something we're going to learn at the end of tomorrow, when you do validation, you can go to the World Wide Web Consortium, you can ask them to validate your pages to make sure that they actually pass validation, and without the declaration, it won't even look at it. Which only works in that one particular circumstance, but, okay. So now we have our XML declaration, and now before we go any farther, we're going to save this page, just so we have it. We're in day 5. We're going to call this in class 1.html. If you're working on Windows, your save as type has to be all files. Encoding is Unicode.
Does Unicode look like?
Doesn't look like anything.
No, the
It's,
abbreviation or the dot, whatever.
It was show.
It's not.
Show them. Do save as again.
Like where you have like dot BMP or.
Nope.
This is .html. Okay, which is a little bit hard to read. This is pretty small. And we're okay. It's changed. One of the problems with Notepad is it will change this text document every time, no matter what you do. So you always have to manually make it all files. The encoding is Unicode. Unicode is the way that it stores the text in the file. So when it actually saves it onto disk, it has to save it in some manner. And traditional Windows has its own file format. Traditional Linux has its own. Unicode is a cross-platform one that works everywhere. And so, but it's a little bit bulkier. The file sizes are larger. But when you're working on the web, Unicode is really handy because everything can read Unicode. So you're not worried about what it's going to or something translating it. And you're not limited. When we're looking at special characters, if you're working with any other encoding scheme, you're limited to 255 characters or so. Unicode limits you to like 16 or 64,000 characters. So there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do only with Unicode. So like we could put in Chinese, Korean, Japanese, all right into this. Their entire character sets fit right in. You can use any of them. So it doesn't affect you too much in what you're doing. It's just good to have it that way. Okay, now that we have the XML declaration, now what do we need to do? The first thing we have to do.
Opening of HTML.
Yes, exactly. Open HTML. Okay, now we're into the actual XHTML of the document. What's the next thing we have to do?
Heading.
The head, yes. We're in the head. Okay, so what do we have in our head?
The title.
Title.
It,
This one's up there. Okay, what is the subject or the title of this webpage?
Old men on weird vehicles.
Old men. How about old men and their weird vehicles?
That way we can do the funny picture.
Okay. Yes.
The whole.
Oh, that was your reasoning? I didn't. Yeah.
couldn't tell.
Okay, and we close off our title at the end because that's the end of our title. Okay. Now, one of the things we want to do with this document is we want to work with CSS, obviously, for our styles. We've seen how to do it inline, we've seen how to do it with the style tags, and we've seen how to do it with the extra page. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to do it with the extra page, with a separate CSS document on its own. And so we're going to make a link, and then we're going to make another page so you can see why it's important to do it in that manner. Why the inline and the style tags are shortcuts. Okay, so what do we put in to attach a CSS page?
CSS tag.
No, there is no CSS tag.
The anchor.
Nope, anchor is a link once you're into the body. You can anchor as a link.
Style.
Nope, styles if we're including the CSS in the heading, but not as a separate document. I see people checking their notes. We'll give them a second.
What was your question again?
How do we, if we have CSS as a separate document, how do we attach that second document to this XHTML page? Five, 4, 3, 2. Okay, we use a link tag. The link tag is used for linking different documents and different media to this page. It's not for adding them to this page, it's for giving a way for things to reference those documents. And now we'll see if off the top of my head I can remember all the parts that we need for. I know we need a type attribute, which is text/CSS. We need an href. Someone's checking their notes, make sure I'm doing this right. Real quickly, we will call this, since we haven't made the CSS page, we can name it whatever we want. We will call it oldmen.css because that's easy to remember. Is there anything else I need to have in
It says rel equals.
instead of href?
No, both of
Oh.
them.
Rel equals, and what do I have to make it equal to?
I have style sheet in parentheses.
Style sheet, thank you.
I'm sorry, in quotes.
Yes. Okay, we put the slash at the end because there's only one note. Okay, do we put anything else in the head? You did a lot of shaking heads. That is correct. That is the end of the heads. Now we can close the head. Next week we will be learning some new stuff for the head, but nothing that we need for every page, just things that are handy when you're actually making your own. Okay, so the head is closed. Now what do we get to make? Dan.
The body.
Yes.
Fun.
Okay, now, someone think about what we want in this webpage.
A floating picture of the rabbit.
We want a floating picture of the rabbit as the first picture under old men and their weird hair.
No, we want a picture of old men.
Oh, we want a picture. Okay, how many people for old men and how many people for the rabbit? Old
Well,
Old
old
men.
men could ride a rabbit,
3.
so that could count. And
men? Okay, and all those for rabbit. Oh, it's close, but I think the old men won.
Can you make like the
Andrew's relieved. He's like, oh, finally.
Can you make like the picture moving? Like around?
Like you did for the little gerbil thing,
Yeah.
right?
No.
Made so it
No, I don't. Okay. When you're working with a GIF that's animated, it's actually an animated GIF. The picture actually does that. It's part of the picture. I don't make it do that. It's just part of the image. It's like a movie. When you play a movie, you don't actually make it play. It's actually all recorded that way. And it just plays through. It's not like you have a photograph of, you know, Star Wars 3, and that if you do something to it, it has a movie somewhere behind it. You actually have to have the whole movie in. Yes?
Can we use that picture of the cemetery one, like, as an opening, kind of, introducing?
We'll use that on the next page to introduce this one. All right, so we're going to start with an image. Okay, so how do we include an image in our picture? Image tag. What is the image tag?
IMG.
IMG. Okay, now there are two attributes that we must have in an image tag.
The source.
Source, which is SRC, source, or SORC, depending on the. Okay, and in this case, I have an images folder, and any idea what that picture is called?
No.
We'll go figure it out. 0480.jpg. Okay, what else do we need besides the source? The alt, very good. And what is the alt tag? Or the alt attribute?
Descriptions.
It's a description. Okay. We've added an image. Now what do we want to put in?
The caption.
Can we have a border around the picture?
We could have a border around the picture, but a border is not XHTML, so we would do that when?
CSS.
Right, when we're doing the CSS. So we're just doing the content right now. And if we have to, we can come back if we decide there's something missing. But what did you want to have?
Caption.
A caption.
Saying what the picture.
Description of the picture. Okay. If we're going to put a caption with the picture, do we just put some text somewhere next to the picture? What's a good way to do that? Does anybody know? We do have to have a tag. What kind of tag would work?
A special tag.
Not a special tag. More of a normal tag. All right, what we can do, a good way to do captions with a picture, if you actually want the text with the picture, is we can use a division tag and put both the image and the text into the division tag so that they're held together.
Can
So
you
do
say
we-
that one more time?
If we put the image and the caption for the image into a single division tag, it will keep the text and the picture together no matter what else we do. They will be enclosed and move around. So do we want our caption above or below the image?
Below.
Below, okay. So first thing we need to do is put a division in. Which everyone remembers is div. We're going to make this have a class. What should we call this class? Call it the picture class. Okay. Thanks everybody for your input. Okay. What should our caption be? Someone give me a caption.
We have to have a name for the guy, and then we have to like have
Bill riding his flaming chart.
have like a weird name.
Ranger Bob.
I liked
Okay.
the riding his flaming charger.
How about
Is that what you
Ranger
said?
Bob riding
His
flaming? Is that what you put in? Flaming chair. Is that what you said? Flaming? Okay. Flaming chair.
maybe
How's
he's
that?
on fire, just like trying to like roll it down a hill and figure it out.
Maybe he
How about
is.
charger instead of chair?
It doesn't look like a horse.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, charger. Okay.
And put quotes around it. So then it's like nice.
Someone's not happy with anything.
Okay. Okay, so you see how we have the division. Starting up here, we have the image and the caption together, and then we close off the division. So we have that all in one spot. Okay, what do we need next? This is a web page about old men and their weird vehicles.
We need a paragraph.
We need a paragraph. We need to say something. So what should we say?
Old men often have very weird vehicles.
Then you can put in what kind of car you
Then you have a list of all of the vehicles that they can have. like,
Ooh,
you know.
that I like that. What were you gonna say before? You had your hand up.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Then you can include
Don't call on people too quickly, because then you don't have to. Okay.
would be scared. I'm not a very young child.
You wrote, but that it's fun too.
That's okay.
Is this
But-
supposed to be is?
That is fun too, yes.
Okay.
That's fun too. So it's okay. Wouldn't you like to ride around town on a flaming chair? I bet you would.
Yeah, it's like an interactive website.
Why to
Wow.
me? It is like an interactive website. Okay, is there something else we should have in this paragraph?
A list.
Should we have a list in the paragraph?
Yeah.
You're like a,
No. No, we should have a list in like a table. Actually, because I have on my notes we have to make a table. So it works out really well that we're going to have a list of vehicles.
Talk about the dangers of riding.
maybe chairs. It could catch something at flavor.
While there are many dangers of riding.
Dangerous of riding.
I'm typing in front of people. Give me a break.
I think it's not teaching people this.
Dangers of riding flaming chairs in public.
The biggest one being
You can show the picture of the
This is-
cemetery.
Oh.
the biggest one being death. The rabbit has to be one.
Rabbit can be one of them. Yes. Very good idea.
Nice.
Okay, so if we're going to make a list,
Yes.
someone give me some options for making a list. We're going to do it a certain way, but give me some options that we can use.
Do it a word.
We could do pre-formatted and do pre-formatted text, yep.
You could do ordered.
We could do an ordered list,
Unordered.
1, 2, 3, an unordered list with bullet points. Or, if you're doing a really big, cool list that you really want a lot of control, we're going to use a table. Yes. So if we're going to put in a table, what tag do we have to use?
Table
The table tag. That was a really tough one. We're going to give you extra points for that. Okay. Once you're in a table, what do we have to have inside of every table? There's actually 3 things we have to have inside of every table. What's the first thing that we have to have inside every table?
word.
No. Anybody? Okay. Every table has at least one part, and that part is the table body. You can have a table head, you can have a table foot, but you must have a table body. Anybody know what the table body tag is?
Table body.
It's T-body, actually. So close, yes. Okay. Once we have a T-body, then what can we put in?
Words.
Can't put in words, but we're getting there.
A foot?
If we
You
say
do
say
TDs.
words often enough, eventually we'll get to the point where
You
we're
do
putting in words.
TDs.
We do not do TDs yet.
Oh.
Every cell, think of a spreadsheet. Each cell must be contained within a row, a table row. And there's a cost associated with each of these. They call it T-row price. Sorry, can't resist. Okay, once we have our row, now we can have our cell, the table data. T-row price is a large financial firm.
Oh.
Sorry. They do like mutual funds and stuff. Okay, now we're going to have a number of columns here. What column should we have? We should have the name of our dangerous vehicle. We should have
A picture.
a description. We can't come up with the pictures unless it's the rabbit and the guy in the flaming chair. And maybe the puppies, but the rabbit's funny. Okay, so we got a description. We have a name. Yes?
A list of how many children have died.
A
Being
list
run
of how many
over.
children have died due to the chair. And the top speed of the chair.
How
Anything
many
else?
chairs are sold each month?
And how many chairs are sold each month?
And this is
Ooh,
And
How much it costs to have enough fuel for the fire?
Okay. Okay.
How
So
many
our-
men ride
How good of mileage does it get to the?
So our first row is
deaths.
What should we start off with? I think we should start off with the name of the chair.
Yeah.
Or the name of the vehicle.
Type.
Type. So let's start with the first one we had a picture of. We've got the
Charger?
flaming armchair charger.
Let's call it Flaming Doris.
We'll put that in the description. Like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
like its name.
Doesn't Doris have 2 R's?
It doesn't matter. It's a chair.
By means of South Americans. How did they get across
Yep.
the ocean?
As opposed to the first
They
century
flew with the
BC.
chair, yeah.
Well, once you have a flaming lazy boy, you find a way across the ocean. Okay, what's the next column? Yes.
The children one. How
The
many
number of children. How many children have died due to these?
50,000 each day.
50. Okay. Let's do this
Wait,
all
wait,
based
wait.
on a month. So give me a monthly figure.
1,000.
1,000.
1,000.
1,000 sounds a lot bigger.
1,000.
Oh, you have the
Dun-dun-dun.
cemetery picture next to the children thing.
We're not putting the cemetery picture. We're in a table.
You can't.
Wait, what about the rabbit? What's wrong with the rabbit?
We haven't got to that yet. We're still on our first vehicle.
You're in the table.
Oh, it's like the stuff by, that's what the by Flaming
Yes.
Doris.
Yes.
Oh.
The Flaming Armchair Charger is called the Flaming Doris. Has killed 1,000 kids a month on average. And how much does it cost to buy one of these?
15,000.
$900,000. It's a
15.
long way
I heard
from
15,000.
Speed. Oh yeah, we did top speed.
It's a
Oh,
long
no.
way from Mongolia. It should be at least 900 though.
And how many of these are sold each month?
50.
50.
There's not that.
So on average, they kill about 20 kids each. Per new one sold each month, since so many people stop using them, since they're obviously consumed with use.
This is bad.
How many
No, no,
recommendations?
Can you imagine an armchair going over 8 miles an hour?
No,
I don't
yes,
think so.
Yes.
Okay, now that we've put in all of our cells for that row, we can close out the row. We don't want this to get too complicated here.
Is that 2 people picking up the chair running?
Maybe. Okay, so now we're going to put in a second row.
Rabbit. We should call it,
The dude.
Flaming Thumper.
no.
It's not on fire yet.
No,
The evil bumper.
like, something Bucky, like, be something Bucky.
Bucky the Tea.
Like, no, like, bouncing Bucky or something.
The
Okay.
bouncy
Like,
bouncy.
it jumps on people and kills them.
Bouncing Bucky. We'll go with that.
It kills people by jumping.
It's not Eli, just watch.
It's a car, Andrew.
It's a
That's it.
rabbit.
Jump,
Jump.
jump.
It's a demon rabbit.
And can you like manipulate the pictures so like it has like horns and stuff on it?
We could.
You should have.
We need to find the hamster.
Yeah.
Okay, it has to. Let's have
hold
it
on.
kill a lot more people.
This is a quick tribute to.
Real nice. Why does it say demon?
Oh, he's not here. He used to be right at the top. Oh, I'm not gonna go looking for him.
He's on Sheep Guarding Llama.
Oh, I'll never find it.
Wait, it
The
has
demon
to,
hamster? Where's
I
he?
found it from on Sheep Guarding
Oh,
Llama.
that's weird. Okay.
Wait, it has to be like really cheap, like as cheap as a rabbit would regularly be. But it has to be a lot more violent than.
Okay, but we have to start with how many
You gotta make it like
kids does it kill on average a month?
5 billion. No.
Yeah.
That's too
No.
large of a number. Let's take a
No,
reasonable
it's
number.
like 5,000.
This is like
250.
50,000.
250. That's a more reasonable number.
Okay, but it costs like 20 cents.
Reasonable, yeah.
They get it
Because
from
there's
Kansas.
too many of them.
They get it from Kansas and Idaho. Like, maybe.
2 bits.
Good thing you know your geography.
It costs 2 bits. How many are sold each month?
Like a million.
No,
Yeah,
like
because there's a lot of
500.
rabbits. No, that means it kills.
It's gotta be a high number. Someday.
5,000.
5,000.
Well, then they only kill like 2 people.
Well, they're rabbits.
Takes a lot of them.
They have to have a
They only cost
direct
2
hit.
bits. Buy more. They go like 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, they're like
How come they
giant
go faster than
kangaroo
rabbits?
rabbits.
Because
Our
rabbits
chairs
actually
don't
go faster
in-
than
Yes,
chairs.
rabbits go very fast.
This is based on fact.
Oh, yes.
Hey,
Especially a VW rabbit.
No one can wonder where I get it from. All right, what's next?
Okay.
he gets it.
What else could he ride? He could ride the sign.
We don't have to have a picture of each thing he rides. Someone come up with a cool, dangerous.
He rides a
thing
door. It's like a giant snowboard.
X7.
How about the fire Cadillac? The fire Cadillac.
No, it can't have any fire.
And it
on
goes
Fire
0 miles per
Cadillac?
hour.
Right.
Yeah, it has a rocket attached to the back of it so it can go faster. But
No,
it
he
can
drives
only
the
go
car
like
from-
this.
He drives the car from Men in Black.
The
Men in
flaming
Black.
cat-
I call it the Fire Cadillac.
Ooh.
Charging.
Cadillac.
Chargers.
Let's call it
Danny's
Call it.
imagination.
we call it the Flame of the West. Like all in caps lock. ACA. The Flame of the West.
The Flam of the West. I don't know what that is.
Maybe
but
it's
we're-
the flan of the West.
It's a
Flan of the West.
The
Yes.
flan was better.
It's a popular custard dessert, flaming Cadillac. Okay, how many kids does it kill on average a month?
7. Okay, let's make this a really outrageous number. Like all of these numbers have to be really far.
5,999 million. That's not
We're gonna stay with reasonable numbers.
99 million,
5,000.
999 million, 999,000.
How about 3?
3?
You didn't open the Pac-Man on the closing tag.
Ah, thank you. The bracket, we'll call it. And
It's a Pac-Man.
how much does it? What did we get wrong in the last one? Oh, 2 bits. Okay, how much does it cost?
7,000.
No, it's a
Seven,
Cadillac.
8,000.
It's a 7,000. I like the. I think Ashley's trying to say something, but I can't hear her. Oh, you're having okay.
She's saying it costs a lot because it's a prototype.
Oh, I did hear your voice. Okay, I'm like, okay, because it's a prototype. And
Go
and
120.
Then they only.
what's that next number? How many are sold each month?
Well, if it's a prototype, only one.
Oh, 1. Okay, 1 a month.
Then it kills a lot of people.
1.8 a month.
Well, because they sell about 1 a year. So, and it's an old Cadillac. So because
Goes like
it's limited to 55 miles an hour, it's governed.
It kills 3 a month, but they don't even sell
let's
one
have
of
the
them.
next one be a NASCAR.
Well, the same one.
Yeah.
It doesn't get dented easily.
Because it's on
People
fire.
don't
Okay.
drive NASCAR.
Someone got another one.
Steel.
A NASCAR car.
A NASCAR? That's not interesting.
I want the
Like a
demon
recliner or
hamster.
something.
What was it?
A recliner.
Oh,
yeah, the lazy
recliner.
boy.
Okay, demon hamster. You people are boring. Demon hamster.
I said a NASCAR.
Dum, dum,
Who drives the
dum.
number 6 car?
Tina the llama.
Who drives the number 6?
You know?
He's really old. That's great. What's his name?
Yeah, dum dum dum.
Dum dum dum.
Da-da-da.
Killed small children.
By biting their
By
jugular
luring them.
veins.
To his.
To them.
Kill small children by luring them.
To them.
His hamster there with
There
his
with
cute
his-
whiskers.
And then he bites the jugular vein.
Okay, it's getting violent.
Over to the-
Okay.
How about
They're hard to
How many kids do the demon hamsters kill?
There's a lot, because a lot of people have hamsters, so like a million. At least a
Okay,
million.
let's stick in the thousands.
Okay.
9,000.
900.
9,999.
Yeah.
9,922. Just because it's more interesting.
Why don't we have 666? It's a demon hamster.
And they're free because
No,
they operate on their own. You don't have to own them.
But you have to ride them. That's
How many of these get sold a month? They're free,
5,000.
but how many exist new a month?
500.
There's 500 new baby demon hamsters every month.
You.
Yeah.
Their top speed is like 700 miles per hour. Since they
Okay,
have
I'm okay with
wings.
that.
They're so fast you can't see them.
They have wings.
because they're demons.
They have wings.
Okay, we'll leave it at that for now.
Rumble.
Okay, so we've closed out. At the end of each one, we've closed out our rows. Now we have to close out our table body, which, as remember, is T-body. And we have to close out our table itself. Okay, is that the last thing we want on this page?
Pictures.
Well, we already have one picture.
Can we have a pictures of like ones you have? Like
We have-
you have the rabbit and the old man's car.
Well, the old
and-
man's car is already on there, remember?
Oh, do you have the demon hamster?
I don't. It exists. Do a web search on Google, demon hamster. It will come up. He's got little horns and red eyes. It's really cute.
He's already
Why
lured
don't
you.
you edit your
Oh,
hamster?
no.
Scott from Livermore.
Okay. All right. So that's the end of what we're going to work on now. So we're going to close off the body. And at the end of everything, we have to close off the HTML. And now we'll figure out what we did wrong. There's our page. Ranger Bob and his flaming charger.
Dude,
Okay.
looks more like a
We got a
wheelchair.
couple
It doesn't
paragraphs.
look
Don't you think that like titles for the columns would have been useful?
Most
Aha! No one even wanted to have a body. Now you want a head.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
And
This
you got
titles.
borders for
That doesn't look
thing.
like a lazy
Where do
board.
borders come from?
Oh, CSS.
Exactly.
Let's put in CSS.
It looks like a go-kart.
With
So,
a large
where
body.
does our head go for our table?
Just above it.
Before the body.
Just above the
Body.
which body?
The table body.
Okay,
Yeah.
making sure.
It should be the possessed vehicle for the possessed man.
It's a fed.
Possessed vehicle.
Why do you need to put a heading instead of just making the first one be a heading?
Because when it's in a T head, we can control it through CSS without having to have special.
Oh, it can have a different. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we got our vehicle name. Then we got, what do we have next? Description.
Then I think it's child deaths per year.
That was a month.
It is.
Oh, I'm sorry, per month.
Top speed.
Nope,
No, the
cost.
next one is
Yeah,
cost.
cost.
The next one is sold per month.
Kilometers are English units too.
Actually, the French unit.
Or we use them
They're half-breeds.
Okay,
Okay.
that's better.
Ranger Bob riding his flame ring charger, a couple paragraphs, and our table, which is really cool. Okay. So, any questions about how we did that? Things that we did? It's all pretty straightforward, I think. You're in the way. Okay. Now, we can. oldmen.css. Remember we called it that in the link? Okay. Now
Old
we're able
med.
to apply old med. Oh yes, old med. Better?
Thank you.
Okay, now we have the ability to add style to our structured content.
What's that?
Katie,
Well, okay, is this a link?
this is a CSS document.
So will it be on the document that we just made?
It will affect the document we just made. What it's going to do is when the browser reads the HTML, as it goes through the head, it's going to say, "Ooh, there's a link. What's it a link to? Oh, its relationship is a style sheet. So I'm looking for something to style this." Then it looks and says, "What type is it?" Ah, it's CSS, and the text CSS that we put in there. It says, "Okay, so I'm looking for a CSS style sheet to help me describe how this is going to look." And then it says, "Okay, so what do I need to do? I need to go find oldmen.css," and then it looks for oldmen.css, opens up this page in the background, reads it, and sees what the styles are.
Couldn't you just put the CSS right into the first document?
Yes, you could, using style tags. But we're going to do another page, and you're going to see why it's powerful and why it's important to use CSS as a separate document. Using style is fun. There's nothing wrong with using the style tags. But when you're working on websites instead of web pages, when you're working on multiple pages for a single entity, that's where CSS as a document really starts becoming important. As long as you're working on one page, it doesn't matter what you do. Managing the page is easy, but when you have multiple pages, it starts changing. So, all right. So what do we want to start doing for some design here? Let's try to make this page look at least relatively attractive.
Back.
Some backgrounds. Borders around.
Around the little columns. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's start with a background.
That
And
would
the
be
whole
blood
page.
red.
So we're okay. It's going to be the body because the body is the main portion. And what do we use to do the background color? Katie?
I have a question.
Yes.
Why aren't the bracket things in, like, for outside your body?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't they there in CSS?
Why are they there, or why are they different? It's a different language. It's a completely different language than XHTML. In XHTML, we're using tags, and so the brackets are there because they're tags. That's what designates the tag. In CSS, they could have done it that way, but since the only thing that they're designating is the inside of the tag, they didn't need them. And so, like with a body, we're cutting out 50% of the characters. With a paragraph, we'd be cutting out 200% characters. So that's about the logic. I don't know if there's that much thought put into it, but this is a generic style sheet. This was done long before XHTML existed, so you can use this with other types of documents that may or may not have brackets in them. So it's only a related language. It's not a.
There's one
okay.
called dark red.
Dark red. Okay. What comes after dark red?
Semicolon.
Cute.
Little curly bit.
And then the code. Okay. Now on our table, we wanted border. So to make a border, what do we have to do? 3 things.
The size of
The size, which is called border.
the border size. No, border font.
No, font is for letters. Border width. Thank you. And I think thin will do. I think that'll be attractive there. Okay, what else do we need?
Color.
Border color.
We want it light sea green.
That's
Light
not
sea
gonna
green
look
on
good.
dark red. We're trying to make it
Oh.
attractive.
How about olive?
Black?
Aquamarine.
Oh, I already heard black. It's all about speed here. Oh, no one mentioned the semicolon. Okay, and the last thing?
Is a style.
Yes. And what do we want?
We want it. Can we get it to be kind of like? Is this how it's gonna look? I mean, the shape. Can we have it kind of like?
Is that one of the options in border
Oh
style?
no, I don't have one.
Oh.
What does ridge look like?
I don't know. Let's find out. Is that spelled right?
Without the D.
Rigged?
No, without the D at the end. Ridge.
I thought
Rigged.
I see. Okay.
Silly rabbit. I think we need to change the color of the font in,
In everything?
yeah, if the background is going to be dark red, we're not going to be able to see it. What about
Aquamarine.
light slate gray?
No, medium aquamarine.
Gray with an A.
Okay. What's next?
Well, we could make the table cells different colors.
We could.
We can make like the head a different color than the body.
What about like hot pink, bright orange?
We could do hot pink and bright orange. Those are definitely options, yes.
We did that for the hamster when we did hot pink and it didn't look too good.
That is true. Let's go with a different color than hot
Medium
pink.
aquamarine.
Well, let's go with dark orange, I think, for the title. I think that might work. We can always change it.
Changes.
Can we have for the demon hamster? Do you have that little thing you did on the page last time? The little revolving hamster. Can you put that there? The one that's
Where would we put it?
Right next to the demon hamster thing. Doesn't it look too evil looking? But
And he's not too demonic,
just
but he is spinning around.
yes.
Okay. We'll
That's
see.
how they go.
We'll see if we get to it. Okay, what color do we want not hot pink for the main table?
Blue.
Light sea green.
No.
No. What about
Medium
olive?
aquamarine.
Olive?
Or what did he say? Medium olive?
Medium aquamarine.
Medium
Oh, that'll
no.
be
Dark
Alright,
olive or
That's
regular
what I
olive?
remember.
OD.
dark olive.
OD.
Not white.
Okay, what color should the text be for our table?
Ghost white.
Don't you need a cement one?
It's got to be dark olive green. Sorry.
No, because all of the T-body is within one.
Oh,
So you have to have it for the opening, and then you do all your lines, then you close it off. What color?
It's got to have green after olive.
Just oh,
Dark olive green.
Gotcha. Oh wait, were you saying the semicolon or the bracket?
something.
Oh, ignore me. What color for the text?
Aquamarine.
Black.
White.
Pitch black.
Black on dark olive green.
How about snow? I bet snow is.
Whoa,
Say
no.
that rubber wood.
At least it'll be readable. Okay. What color should our text be on? Let's go with black. I think black looks there. All right. Let's start with this and see what we have. This is our current page with no CSS applied. And we got nothing. It happens.
Wait, you can't really see the title.
What title?
Ranger Bob riding.
The title is here.
Oh. I thought there was writing above the picture.
No, no writing above the picture.
If we do the heading, you're-
Oldmen.css. Okay. Oldmen.css. And what's the problem?
In your example, you had them in a specific order. Is that an issue?
It should not be, but we'll move it.
Okay, the rel was first.
Okay.
Rel, then type, then href is how you had it.
Nope, but good try. What was that?
I'm just thinking, would it
Oh.
be the link?
Well, that's what we were just looking at.
Because it's in the same folder, so it should just find it, right?
Right. Okay, well, it's time for our break anyway. So while we take our break, I will look at this, get it working, and then we'll start back up again in a few minutes.
CSS.
Unbelievable.
I just have to get it off my